Hey, what's up, everyone? Give a few minutes for people to get on here. I hope everyone's having a pleasant end of your weekend out there. Taking a few notes down while before this thing's kick off. We'll probably kick off right at about 7:05 Central Time. So a few minutes for everyone to jump on here. And for those of you that are already jumping on here, I appreciate you making some time. And yeah, I'm just excited to come on here and have a little talk with everyone and just kind of feel some things out. I know there's so much going on right now, and there's so many emotions and so many thoughts. And one thing about this human experience that we all chose to come here and experience is one of our abilities is the ability to co-create with our thoughts and feelings. So feelings are a big part of that. So we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. Is the ability to co-create. Be right back. All right, kicking off here shortly. When you jump on here, if you could let me know how the audio is. Our mic was messing up a little bit earlier, so I did a live one time and didn't find out till the very end that the sound wasn't working. So if you can hear me, please just let me know there. Got some good stuff to go over with everyone. We're going to be talking about a few topics, and I'm gonna take us through just a brief breathing exercise in the beginning. With so many emotions and so many thoughts going on right now, the one of the most powerful tools we all have to address situations or go throughout life is our breath. So I'm going to start us out by taking us through a short breathing exercise. When you feel anxiety, when you feel fear, when you feel anger, whatever it is, one of the most powerful things you can do is a breathing exercise. What it does when you do a slow breathing exercise, it signals your entire body, your cardiovascular system, your mind, everything to relax and calm down, just so you can address the situation a little bit better. It's not always easy to do that when emotions are high. So before we start this talk, a few more minutes here and we'll get going. About a minute 30 and we're going to kick off, everyone. So I appreciate y'all tuning in here. Let's see. There we go. Got that. It should be going in the group as well. Awesome. Cool. Well, I think that's it. And again, I appreciate everyone jumping on here and chatting with me for a few minutes. I believe I'll be able to see the comments. I'm having a few issues, a few technical issues right now, but that's okay. We're going to kick off anyway and just have a good conversation. I want to be able to see y'all's comments though. Can someone make a comment on there real quick? I want to make sure I can see the comments as I am going through and chatting with everyone. I want to be able to address questions and address comments that people want to make. Let me see here. There we go. All right, I should be able to see it now. Great. So to start out, again, I want to take everyone through a little breathing exercise. Like I mentioned, emotions are going really high for everyone right now, and more than ever before, more than ever before, the agenda that's being pushed upon everyone is one of hate, is one of fear, is one of anger to divide us. That is in every way the goal right now is to divide us. And the powers to be are well aware that the way to do that is to get us into these very low vibrational energies. If we're feeling hate or anger, if we're feeling divided, it's very easy to control us. And the reality that we're all going to co-create is going to be that of hate and anger and fear. But the beautiful thing about every one of you listening is you are incredibly powerful and you have the ability to change that in an instance, okay? It's easier said than done in most cases, but I say all that because I do want to take us through a brief breathing exercise, whether you're watching this live right now, whether you are watching this after, or whether you're on our YouTube. I'm going to be posting this to our YouTube after as well. I would just ask that you follow along, just a quick 3-step breathing exercise, okay? What I want you to do is put your feet flat on the ground to kind of ground you. You want you to put your hands either up if you need energy on your knees or down if you want grounding. And we're just going to go through a few breathing exercises. What I want you to do is breathe in slowly for 5 seconds. You're going to hold the breath at the top for 4 seconds, and you're going to breathe out slowly for 5 seconds. Okay, we're just going to do that 3 times, just something real quick and easy. I can kind of feel, if that makes sense, I can kind of feel a lot of emotions already. We have about 15 people on here. I can kind of feel some emotions already on there. I know we all have the collective in general is going to feel those. So let's go through this little breathing exercise to bring it down just a tad, okay? So breathe in slowly for 5 seconds. 1. Hold at the top for 4. And breathe out 5. Now let's do it again. Breathe in for 5 seconds. Hold at the top for 4. Breathe out for 5. Last one. Breathe in for 5 seconds. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 5. Okay. Once you do that, whether you know it or not, you're sending a powerful message to your entire system to relax, to relax. And before I really get into this, I do want everyone to know that when you start feeling those emotions, go back to your breath, okay? And in this conversation that I'm going to have, I urge everyone, take only what resonates, okay? We're all on different paths. We're all, collectively, we're all together. We're in this, experiencing this, creating this together. But a lot of people are on different paths, and that's become more apparent as, this agenda-based division has kind of went in, and it's okay. If you find this resonates with you, that's wonderful, awesome. Feel free to comment about it. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay too. You can keep on scrolling, or if you doesn't, but you want to listen, that's all right too. If questions do come in or if comments come in, I'll do my best to go ahead and answer those as I'm going through my little talk with you guys. It's not going to be a very long one. I just had some feelings and emotions I wanted to come across and, pass along to everyone. I will definitely answer them as long as I can sense and feel that it's in a vibration of at least of kindness, love, and wanting some kind of resolution. You see, unfortunately, the powers to be are very well aware, like I said, of getting us in these lower vibrational frequencies. And when you're in that state and it's encompassing you, you become you kind of get into this provocative nature. And it's easy to try to go into an attack mode when naturally that's not how we all are. But we're not. At our core, no matter if you think one way or you think another, at our core, we're all love. We are, but we're in these human vessels that have a conscious and subconscious mind that's like a hypercomputer, and everything that we put into our mind programs us a certain way. And we've all decided to spend our time on different things that have caused certain programming in our mind to have us react in certain ways. So a couple things I want to talk about first is magical in general and our stance. There's so much going on right now. And what I wanted to really get across is Magical's official stance on everything. Our stance is and will always be that of love. Always. That's what our stance is always going to be. Love is the only thing that will transmute hate. It's the only thing that will transmute Anger. I mentioned that in my post yesterday. It's so important to kind of go back to the basics and truly understand, truly understand good ways to overcome it. I'll come to that, Matt. Actually, I'll answer that first right after this. That's a great question. Matt asked, everyone has good days and bad days. Currently, when bad days hit, they feel intensely magnified, which is true because the collective's going through a whole shift. I'm going to get to why, and I'll tell you what, it's for our highest good. Believe it or not, you're all safe. Everything's going to work out incredibly. It doesn't seem like it right now, but just trust me, it is. And Matt asked, when the intense, horrible feelings hit, what are good ways to overcome these feelings? Fantastic question. I'll get to that in just a second. And this actually ties in with what I was about to say. So it's so important to understand these universal laws of what we've been given. It's our firm belief that God does give us the desires of our heart, but he does so through the powers of our mind. We have this beautiful mind where we can create. Our thoughts and our feelings create. That one of the universal laws that's important to understand is what you put out there is what you're going to get back. Whether it's immediately or whether it's over time, that's what you're going to get back. And I mentioned that in the post yesterday. It's so important, even when it's not easy, to try and continue to stay in that love frequency. Try and stay in that high vibrational frequency, because if you do that, not only are you going to be creating that in your reality, but you're going to be attracting it too, okay? And you can have such a beautiful impact on someone else. The crazy thing, as much as it's going on out there, and I'll talk about the news in a second. We'll get to the news piece in a second. I have, a couple views on the news, and I'm just going to put them out there because I feel strongly about it. We'll get to that in a second. But it's really important to really take control of that, and you can put some systems up. So again, Matt asked, when these intense feelings hit of bad days, what are some ways to overcome these feelings? So I have a tool that I use, that I teach to a lot of people that I've either professionally trained or personally mentored. And I'll go over that with you guys real quick here. So Matt, I call this the perspective shift, is what I call it. Okay, it's called the perspective shift. The basis of it is, the first thing you do, because a lot of people are like, well, think positive thoughts. That's kind of shit. Like, you can't just think positive thought. Like, it's not that easy. You can't just turn a switch, right? That's not how our minds work. But you can control now, the way you can control your thoughts. Think of, okay, you have a negative thought. Let's take you through the situation. You have a negative thought. You're thinking negatively, and you're thinking about that, right? At that point, the first thing you do, there's 3 steps here. The first thing you do is go to your breathing. Go to your breath. Okay, it's not as easy to go from a negative thought to a positive thought. It is easy to go from the negative thought to your breath. So Matt, just like the breathing exercise we did in the beginning here, go to your breath. Okay, what I would suggest is do it 5 times. Do 5 times of a deep breath in and count 5 seconds. Deep breath in, hold for 4 seconds, 5 seconds, deep breath out. Do that 5 times. Now, from a psychological perspective, what you did with your conscious and subconscious mind is you were thinking about the negative thought. You took your thought off of that and you put it on your breath. Okay, humans cannot think 2 thoughts at once. It's impossible. You can only think 1 thought at once. So what you just did was you took your thought off the negative thought and you put it on the breath. So now your mind is off the negative thought. Good. Step 1, it's thinking about your breath. And you're going through your breathing. So you're doing 2 things. You took the thoughts off of the negative thought onto your breath, and now you're telling your whole body to relax. You're telling your whole system to relax and calm down. Okay, because when we're in this anxiety, when we have this anger, when we're getting triggered by all the shit the news is trying to throw at us, when all that's happening, your whole system's gonna be impacted. So the first thing you do, you gotta calm your system down, go to your breath. And once you did that, that's step 1. There's 3 steps here, okay? Once you did that, okay, from there, I want you to transition, because you're in control of your thoughts at this point. You let go of the negative thought, you focused on your breath, you did the breathing exercise. Now, after the breathing exercise, you transition to think of 3 things that you're truly grateful for in that moment, okay? Now, I know it's cliche, you hear gratitude all the time, but this is step 2 of 3 important steps to get yourself out of these negative, intense feelings, okay? You go to your breath, then from there, you transition your very next thing to 3 things that are going really well in your life. What is something you're happy for? A significant other, a pet, a house, a meal, whatever. It doesn't matter. 3 things you're grateful for that make you feel good, that are going right in your life. Think about those. then actively think about how they make you feel. Okay, that's a key point because it's not just your thoughts, you're creating with your feelings, right? How do those things make you feel? So at that point, even if you're not in the best place, you're at least in a little bit of a better place. You went from the negative thought to the breath, you went from the breath to the gratitude, and you're feeling a little bit better. Here's the key, okay? At this point, this is the most pivotal point. You're at step 2 of 3. At that point, you then go from how do these things that make you feel good, how do these things that are going right make you feel? You go back to the situation that was negative, and you ask yourself, what would be the best possible outcome of this situation? Ask yourself that. This negative thing that was getting you angry, or you're worried, or fear, or whatever it is, what is the best thing that could happen in that situation? Think about that, because you're back in control of your thoughts, right? So what is the best possible thing? At that point, your mind, your brain is going to find an answer, because it's a hypercomputer, right? We're our souls. We're not our brains. We're not our bodies. We're our spirits. Your brain is going to search for the answer, bring you that answer, and then I want you to ask yourself, how would it feel if that happened? How would it feel if that happened? You are immediately going to get a couple good feelings. And at that point, when you get those good feelings, hold on to that. Hold on to that feeling, because that is how you will create the outcome you want out of that situation that's bothering you. Okay, Matt? So it's a 3-step thing, the breath, the gratitude, and then focusing on what is the best possible outcome. I call that the perspective shift. I created that over like a decade in the personal development space. I found a couple things that have worked. You put those together, it seems to work well. On a side note, definitely monitor your diet. Try and make sure you're doing things, habits that'll help you throughout the day too. But I hope that helped you a little bit there, Matt. Okay, so, and if anyone has questions or comments, feel free to throw them on there. And as I'm going through this, I will do my best to answer them for you. Scott Gittenhouse. Yeah, we're coming up. We're about to launch next month, Scott. We're getting there. So there's a couple, I guess, to kind of change to a different note here for a second. And I'm not going to get into details on this call. I'm not. I'm going to stay very high level. I'm going to stay big picture, because it's very easy to get caught up in the details right now. And because of, I'm not trying to jump ahead here, because of the fall of the system that has indoctrinated us, because it's all crashing down, because there's a lot of good that's happening behind the scenes. Because of that, they're trying to do everything they can to divide us, everything they possibly can. Because when we're divided and we're in fear, we can be controlled, okay? But they're freaking the heck out right now because they're coming down. So, but it's important to back up. See, self-awareness is so important, and we have consistently been divided. The system that has indoctrinated us into what we're living now, that is all shifting and is all changing for our highest good. This, I promise you, it is happening. Has divided us in multiple ways. Religion. I've been writing some poetry about religion. I've been putting out there. God, Jesus, they're my foundations. Holy Spirit are my foundations. To each their own. I'm the last person that will ever judge anything about religion or spirituality. But man took spirituality and decided to use it as a way to control people, created religions, and started to cause a divide in people. So they've used religion, and they put this horrible judgment aspect in there. So religion, they've used race to divide us, which is pretty apparent. They've used politics to divide us into these categories. And if you're this, then you only think that way. Healthcare has been a huge division. The healthcare system in general is crumbling because it doesn't work. People are sicker than they've ever been. There's been so many people, and I am a little biased, as a heads up. The movement that my wife and I started with Magical, we started it because my wife searched 30 years and went through tens of thousands of dollars of doctors that never worked, and had to find her own healing from natural plant medicine, from mindset stuff, nothing that was in so the healthcare system has heavily divided us and has put there to not to, and nothing against, there's some doctors that I know are fantastic people. I'm not taking away from them. The system itself is there to keep us sick, is there to get us addicted. The biggest drug problem we have are opiates and benzos, literally prescribed. So that has divided us. That healthcare system is the way we've been divided. I've mentioned the politician, the religious wars that have done for profit for so long. They've all been created by these people that have gotten into power because of free will. They've decided to take advantage and create these systems that have collectively entrapped us, and the way they keep us entrapped is by continuously dividing us and putting this propaganda out there. And I do want to mention the news. Look, the systematic racism. I'm not going to dive too much into it because I know it's a triggering topic right now. But unfortunately, there's still people that are racist. Like that it does exist, and something needs to be done about it. The news is the worst thing you can do for your conscious and subconscious mind that I know in existence, rather than maybe shooting heroin up your arm. I don't know, like literally the news. So let me back up for a second. Your mind, we all have a conscious and a subconscious mind, okay? Whatever you put into your conscious mind reprograms your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind runs 95% of your day. So, and remember, we create with our thoughts and feelings. If 95% of our mind is programmed, and the elite know this, they know this. Look up the patent for the TV. I'm not going to go down this route that I could go down. I'm not going to get too much into the details about everything. I want to stay high level right now. But understand that everything you watch, everything you listen to is programming you in a certain way that will create the way you think, your beliefs, and all of that. And the news will only put horrible, fear-based, frightening things out there. Like, you've got to peel yourself away from that. You know where your answers need to come from? Within. We have been divided since the beginning to take our power away from us, to not look within for our answers. Every one of you are divine and powerful and beautiful and of love, and have all these, and you're worthy of success, and you're worthy of abundance, and you're worthy to live a life you want to live. But we've been lied to since the beginning, and then put in front of TVs that program us and told that this is reality when it's not. We don't, like, yes, I'm not saying everything's freaking peaches out there. It's not. But the news will only feed you these things to keep you scared, keep you controlled, and keep you divided. They want to divide us right now because they're losing. Okay? It's so important to know this. Look, and I'm not trying to attack any specific person. It's the system that needs to come down, that is coming down. But the news is programming people's minds so much to the point where it's very difficult to have a calm discussion with people because of all the anger and the hate and the way the news projects things. It's no secret, and this is all verifiable information you can look up. The news stations are all owned by 6 companies. 6 companies, that's it. And again, I'm not going to go down that whole route. I could, but I'm not going to right now. But please understand, if you're watching the news each day, you are going to be subconsciously programming your mind for division, hate, for all of that. You've got to, I urge everyone, and my message here to my Magical community and to anyone that's listening is, you're safe, you're loved. This is all going to work out better than you think it's going to. I just trust me. In every part of my heart, I know it to be true. I've seen it. I know it. You're safe. Everyone is going to be okay. Okay? It might get a little worse before it gets better, but all this is happening for our highest good. And that's my message, but I do want to get across, if you want to try and have a better day while you're out there, if you want to try and get through this chaos a little better, peel yourself away from the freaking news. It's going to do nothing but get subconscious fear in your mind. And when you do that, and then you get on social media, and the most triggered are just pushing hate out there left and right, and are convinced that hate is going to solve something, that all it's going to do is create a cycle. And understand this, okay? You're creating with your thoughts and feelings. Every one of you listening right now, You're living in your own reality. Okay, you're living in your own reality. We're all living in a reality collectively, but you've been given this life to create the life you want to live. It's tough for some people to swallow because the things you're not happy with in your life, it is your fault. But same thing with I had to deal with that a lot. I was I was an alcoholic for years. I was horrible into binge drinking for years of my life. Went through the system, and nothing worked. It wasn't until I turned to meditation, affirmations, had some help with psychedelics. Thank you, mushrooms. That all, and my wife, and getting a relationship with God that fixed me. But it's Danielle just said Facebook is the most divisive platform. Absolutely, I would agree with that. It can be used for good. I think it can be used for good, but it's so minimal that are using it for good right now. I would have to agree with that as a whole. But just understand that the news, and when you put yourself in front of those things, that's what you're going to get out of it. Get away from the news. Okay, go within for your answers. This is why I'm such a proponent of meditation, and also why I'm writing about the divisiveness of certain religion right now, because my wife and I have been kind of ostracized by some people because of people thinking meditation's bad. When I'm telling you right now, getting away and making time for yourself can help calm yourself. Okay, so understand you're creating all of this with your thoughts and feelings. All right, and I have love for every one of you. I truly do, and I want you to create the best possible outcome for yourself. I want us all collectively to. I know in my heart, in my reality, everything's going to work out great. It's going to work out better than we ever imagined. I know that, and I want that knowing for you, and it's going to happen. Okay. So again, and fear, divide, and control. That's basically how they have done it in the past. They've kept us divided. They've kept us in fear. They've kept us sick. Our healthcare system is changing, and it needs to change. And I'm very, again, I'm very passionate about that because of how sick my wife was for so many years of her life. And I created this magical healing movement, and I've interviewed nearly, I mean, man, by the end of this year, it'll be probably almost 1,000 people we've spoken to that have just been sick their whole lives because of our healthcare system, and found healing from plants, found healing from natural remedies, found healing from meditation, found healing from plant-based eating and fruits, found healing from changing their diet when they don't teach you that. They want people to stay sick, because if you stay sick, you feed the system. It's a multi-billion-dollar system, all of that. So because of all that, we've been so divided. But the beautiful thing is people are waking up. Now again, foundational, I want everyone to understand we're safe. Everything's okay. It's going to work out for our highest good. I want you to know that. Know that, know that. Put that into your conscious mind. Get in your subconscious mind. Write in affirmations. I am safe. I gave a great affirmation yesterday. I'm going to end on that today, later on. A good affirmation to keep telling yourself. But people are waking up to this reality. This is despite what you're going to see on the news, this is a very exciting time for humanity. Okay, things are about to get way better than you could have ever imagined. They are going to get so much better. People are waking up to what's really been going on more than they ever have waken up. This is the Great Awakening. It really is. It's my personal belief that this is Revelations. But that's not in a fearful way. Again, that's a whole conditioning fear thing. That means it's the end of the world. It's not. It means the awakening. So, but people are waking up. They're waking up to this corrupt and evil system that's been overtaking us. And now people are waking up more than they ever have. There's a ton of red flags out there. And again, I'm not going to go too much into them. Because not everyone is choosing to wake up right now, and that's okay. There's no judgment in that. And on that note, on a side note, and well, I'll go to that in a second. But there's a ton of red flags, and I always urge everyone to question everything. Question everything, absolutely. Question everything. Go within, and when you vibrate higher, you attract your soul tribe. You attract the people you're supposed to attract for the next step in your life. Okay. But there's so many red flags out there. Just to name a few of them, and again, I'm not going to go too deep down this road because I know this is a little bit of a triggering thing for a lot of people too, but I do just want to mention them. I urge everyone to think for yourself. I urge everyone to do their research and all that. It's ironic because It was about 2 weeks ago that we could not gather with more than 10 people in a place, and now there are tens of thousands together rioting, but no COVID uptick, right? These are little things you should start asking about. There's so many things being passed around about bricks, literally tons of bricks being laid out in front of buildings. Like there's so much more going on than what meets the eye, and people are waking up to this. There's things that the news will never report ever. Like these are things that also are fully verifiable. The Queen of England has been dethroned. The news will never report that, but that is true. There's a new king, King John III. The Federal Reserve is under the Treasury now. Okay, their finances have been cut off. The news will never report this stuff. They're not going to report it. There's so much happening that the news won't report. So I can't urge you enough to get away from that succubus of light that is the news. That's a good thing, the succubus of light. I think that pretty much sums it up. But look, here's something I learned from a guy I've been learning from these past few months. His name's Gage Gorman. Just an incredible, him and Case are incredible humans. I'm thankful for being able to learn from them in recent time. For the light workers out there that are listening to this and they kind of get where I'm coming from on everything that's happening and this awakening and all these beautiful things that are about to happen, it is not our job to wake everyone up. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. I wanted to just really be like, oh my gosh, I wanted to do that for people. And I had to really take a step back and realize everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's on their own path. Unless someone is genuinely interested and really open and they're receptive to hearing more about what's going on and hearing more about your views and opinions on stuff, it's not trying to wake people up will just cause more of that divide because a lot of people aren't really ready for the reality of what has been running our country and our world. They're not ready for that yet, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. There's no judgment there. Whether people woke up 10 years ago, 5 years ago, now, or they're waiting for disclosures, like whatever it is, everyone's on their own timeline, Everyone's on their own timeline and creating their own reality. So the best thing you could do is be the example. Be the example. Be of love. Be of light. Be there for people. Be the example. There's nothing good will ever come from spreading hate. Nothing good will ever come from anger. Nothing good will ever come from being in that fear state. And for those of you that are in it, it's not a judgment thing. Look, the powers to be are freaking powerful, man. They're good at their manipulation. They've kept us controlled for many, many years. They've kept us sick for many, many years. They kept us programmed for many, many years. So this isn't a hit on that, okay? It's okay. Everything's going to work out. There's no judgment here. But it's not our job to wake everyone up, okay? So just live your life and do the best you can for you and your loved ones and be the example. And if part of your purpose is creating a space and impacting others, do that in the most loving way that you can. So a couple things I wanted to go over just briefly here. Yeah, so the exciting thing about all this is despite what it looks like right now, the bad people that have been running everything are losing and have lost. They are doing a last-ditch effort. COVID divided people a little bit, but not really. And then businesses were opening up and everything was about to come to fruition. So something had to happen. They had to do something. And then boom, they're coming down with this hard. Trust me, they're throwing last-ditch efforts to divide us, to keep us in fear, to make us hate each other. Don't buy into the rhetoric. Okay, there's so many people out there that are of love and of light. Don't do what you can to create your sacred space of love and light, and visualize the best possible outcome in your world, in your reality. Focus on what that would feel like. Write it every day. I'm a huge advocate of affirmations. Affirmations are huge. They've changed my life. Megan has taught me more than I could ever imagine, and I'm so grateful for everything with her and affirmations. But just know that they've lost. They're doing some last-ditch effort things to really try and just make everything seem like the world is ending, because their world is ending. And there's about to be a lot of light on our world. Mark my words. There's about to be a lot of light on our world. Okay? I know it's hard right now. I know this world seems like it's in shambles right now. I know that. They want you to think that. They want you in fear. They want you divided. You are stronger than that. You are more powerful than that. You are more loving than that. You are more godly than that. Every one of us have God within us. Okay? I would never, I'm a magical, weird, open platform. We welcome all. We don't judge all. But I will say the most fulfilling thing I've ever experienced in my life is that relationship with my Creator within me, because that same Creator is within every one of you, and every one of us have that divinity within us. And one of the things that I learned a while back, which really it was a thought process that really changed my life, and it changed my way of thinking about things, is if you can learn to look at every person you meet as love at a different stage of spiritual evolution, you would never hate someone ever again. You would never. You'd never hate someone. You'd never trash someone for their views. You never. Everyone is love at different stages of spiritual evolution. The other bad people, absolutely. Do you know why those bad people are bad people? Because they had bad people do bad stuff to them, and that's all they've known. And then those bad people had bad stuff happen to them, and they were taught bad things, and that's all they knew. You know? Love yourself, love your friends, love your enemies. Doesn't condone what they do, but if you can find a way, love will transmute all. Love will transmute everything. If you can get in that loving place for everyone, all beings, everything, your reality will be transmuted. Everything in your world will start to change. I promise you that. To change I got some questions about changing that, what's going on in your external. Just know it has to change in here first. Nothing on the external is going to change until you change what's in here. Collectively, we're going through such a shift right now that it's all going to be changing soon. But for you, every one of you listening to this, to change your external world starts right in here. Oh, getting a little message. Sorry about that. So yeah, those are just some messages I wanted to get across to everyone. Hope it resonated with you. Feel free to share this if you feel it resonated with you and you think others need to hear it. Everything's going to be okay, everyone. I can promise you that. Everything's going to be okay. Don't listen to the news. Don't buy into the hate. Send love and light to everybody. Okay, there's a lot of uncomfortable truths that are going to be coming out in the coming time. And no matter what, it's all going to be for our highest good. I can promise you that. It's all going to be for our highest good. This is all working out. Okay? Don't buy into the doomsday propaganda. The last thing I want to do is it's a bit of a really quick meditation, just a quick 3 or 4 minute meditation that Megan has done with me time and time again. And it's understanding, some may understand this a little more than others, but understanding how powerful our thoughts and feelings are, and understand when you create something in your mind, you can actually have an impact in the world and on other things. So I want to do a little visualization exercise. Okay, so follow me through a visualization exercise. Again, if you're watching this live, I would just ask you to sit down, put your feet flat on the floor, and put your hands, palms down on your knees. Okay, we're going to go through a little visualization exercise. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this after, or if you're watching it on our YouTube, just kind of follow along here. And there's something very, very, very powerful about collectively doing something together. Okay? Okay, so we're just going to do a little visualization exercise. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath, 5 seconds in. Hold for 4 seconds. Deep breath out for 5 seconds. And I want you to imagine that there's this big, bright, white light that is in space. This big, bright, white light. And it's beautiful and it's radiant. It's this white, healing light. And then it shoots down and it comes to Earth and it comes to the top of the home that you're in right now. And this white light, it starts to come down and it slowly enters your brain. It slowly enters your mind. You can feel it entering your mind. You can feel it behind your eyes and your nose. It's this white light of love and healing, this white light of healing that is going all throughout your mind. And this white light envelops your entire body. You can feel buzzing. You can feel this white light of healing, healing your pain, healing your sorrow, healing your anger. It's all transmuting, and you feel this deep sense of love and this deep sense of light within you. And this white light is sitting there and you just transmuting everything, transitioning you back into the being of God, of love that you really are. And this white light starts to expand. You see it, you visually see it and feel it expanding out from you through your home. You see it expanding into your neighborhood. Then you see this white light expanding in all your neighbors in your entire neighborhood. Then it expands to your city. You see the outline of your city expands to your state. You can see the outline of your state. Now I want you to visualize your entire state with this white healing light healing everyone. And it expands to the United States and expands to the entire world. And this white light is going into every child of God that has been abused, every child of God that has been lied to, every child of God that has been damaged and had trauma with them. This light is going into every one of them and healing them from within. It's healing them on a deep level. This white light is going into every person that has been damaged, every person that has been lied to, anyone that has had horrible things happen. This white light is going and healing them from the inside and out. This white light envelops the whole earth. Take a deep breath in for 5 seconds. Hold for 4. Out for 5 seconds. One more deep breath in for 5 seconds. Hold for 4. Out for 5 seconds. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your hands. Come back. So that's just a quick little exercise you can do. I kind of stole it from Megan. She has a protected by the light meditation that she does. And she put it on our YouTube that she does before we go out for the day, or whether she goes out, she's highly empathic. So it's easier for her to get affected by other people's energies. And that's a powerful, quick visualization you can do at any time that helps the collective and helps you. Thank you all for being here with me. I truly, in my heart, have love for every one of you as brothers and sisters in Christ and in God. We're all going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. You're safe. Your family's safe. Hold the vibration of love. Use discernment. Go within. Have love for you all. Have a wonderful night.